Hello, welcome back. Episode 132 of Learn Finnish with me. If you enjoy these live streams, please consider supporting me on Patreon or here on YouTube. YouTube memberships is a great way. If you want the the live chat perks, the badges, the emotes, though I should only say emote because I've only made one emote. But if more of you sign up, I will make some more. I'll make some pixel art, dogwood emotes for you guys if you want. But yeah, thank you all for being here, and we will continue. We'll pick up. I think I am live, right? Yeah. Okay. How are you guys doing? JS, Polyu, Lorelei. Good to see you all here. Okay, it is live for y'all. Good, good. I've just been really tired. So I just, I don't want to assume. Because I have started streaming, or I thought I was streaming, and you guys were just in the chat like, when are we going to start? And I'm like, am I not, can you not see me? And I've just been talking. But yeah, how are y'all doing? The weather totally changed today, and it's been nice. It's been rainy. Well, I mean, it only just started raining like this afternoon and evening, and I got caught in the rain. I was walking home, and yeah, but that's okay. It wasn't too bad. It was kind of actually refreshing. But yeah, no, 27. Good to see you here as well. But yeah, let me see. You guys were talking in Finnish in the live chat. Let me see if I can translate some of this. I'll pull it into the Google Translate. I'm not going to look at the English. It's an honor system, but you guys can see it. I mean, you're all probably Finnish watching this, so you don't even need the English. But I'm going to try and ihastelin tuossa äsken parvekkeella varsin reipasta sadetta tekee hyvää. This is a very difficult sentence. All I can tell from the grammar is that it's in the past tense. But I thought, this makes me think of the verb ihaile, which means like, why do I think it means like to stare or to wonder? Ihaile. Maybe it means something totally different. But you were doing something or did something. Was here. I don't know, asken. Something from the balcony or on the balcony, right? I forget varsin. I've seen this before, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Repasta. No. Sadetta. Does this maybe mean the rain? Right? And then it's going good, right? I don't know how to translate this, but it's like, it's a good thing. Okay. I was just enjoying the pretty heavy rain on the balcony. It feels good. Okay. I did get a few of them. I got, what was it? The balcony and the rain. But yeah. I didn't quite get a lot of the words, but that's okay. And then tekee hyvää, it means it feels good. That's good. That's good. Well, JS, glad that you are enjoying the rain. It's a nice change from the heat, It's not just that it's raining, but that it's also cooled off. Because the worst is when it rains, and then it just heats back up, and then you're just in a sauna. No disrespect to saunas, but it's not something I want to be in outside. But yeah, what is this? Speaking of enjoying live streams, your board game Wednesdays will become board game Tuesdays in a couple of weeks for the foreseeable future. Oh no, JS. That is devastating news. You should have vetoed that group. You should have been like, absolutely not. This is a hill I will die on. Right? No, but seriously, I do hope you enjoy your board game nights, whether they occur on Tuesday or whenever, and it has. I have had the idea of actually doing more streams. Um, one of my goals is to renew my residence permit, which I need to do, or at least I need to submit something soon. But I will maybe like next year or sometime in the near-ish future, I'd like to renew like being sort of self-employed. And I think, that's also why I was asking about if people were interested in doing Helsinki tours. I also do a lot of freelancing. I'm writing articles and editing. And also I enjoy doing the live stream. So I don't know, maybe if people enjoy it and I pester people enough, people can support me. But yeah, I might start doing live streams more. But it's not a promise, but I was just thinking of it so that you don't feel bad. And also, as part of my plan, the residence permit situation, I don't know if you guys are aware, but there have been a lot of changes to the residence permits. And we have a more conservative government, and they are updating the rules for better or for worse, mostly for worse. But in order for me to get, in the end, regardless of the residence permit, in order to get citizenship, which is something I really would like to get, I need to take the national language exam. I know I've talked about this a little bit before, and that could be something I could work on more intentionally with you guys, maybe as kind of like a longer term project where we work through the different topics that the national language exam sort of expects you to be able to discuss, or to hear other people talking about and understand. But also the language functions. So understanding like kind of all the various ways in which you can use the language. And I think that could be a good way of, taking my language learning to that next level of actually being able to speak and understand it. It's just that my problem now is I need to have the time to do that. And I just feel like I haven't really had a break, or even when I do take breaks, I feel kind of guilty because it's been really tough this year. And, I feel like I have to do everything I can to try and move forward with my life and try to remain in Finland. I still have my job, but I'm trying to figure out what the future looks like. So that, that's important to me to learn Finnish. And not just because some conservative politician thinks I should. But yeah, the change now, starting next year, is that if I want to get permanent residency, which I don't have yet, I would also have to do the language exam. So it used to be the case that if you did 4 years of continuous residency, you can then apply for permanent residency. But now they're like, no, you can't get that. You got to also do the language exam. And they're changing it from 4 years to 6 years. And it's weird because I'm updating my permit right at the same time that the law is changing, and I don't know if I submit it before the change, will they still evaluate my residence permit based on when the laws when I submitted my application, or do they just evaluate it based on when it appears in the queue? I don't know. Is there a lawyer out there who can answer? I guess I should maybe contact Migri about what the plan is, but they're very difficult to contact unless you go in person. And even then, I don't really trust the people that work there. They'll tell you something and then they might be wrong, and too bad. It doesn't matter that they lied to you. That's just tough. And anyways, that's kind of my situation. But thank you guys. Thanks for all your support. What it feels good doesn't really convey the meaning does good for nature. Oh, the rain, is that? Oh, that's what. Okay, JS. That's what you were talking about. Okay. So I was kind of right. I don't remember how I originally translated this. But it's not just that it feels good for you, but that it's good for nature, right? That's like one of the jokes about everyone who has like, like older parents. Uh, they'll look out, they'll stand at the window when it's raining and they'll say like, "We needed this rain. We needed this." I don't know if you remember that like as a kid, but maybe your parents would like say stuff like that and you're like, what is that? But that's also I think because like especially growing up in the US where like we might not get much rain like in Texas, you'd have to pay to water your lawn, which is a ridiculous concept, by the way, that we just waste water for grass that isn't even a native species, wherever we live. We just have to suburbanize everything, but yeah, there's like the extra effort on I don't know, the extra emphasis on like how rain is good for the lawn, which is sad because like at least if it was a vegetable garden, then maybe. but yeah. It means admire. Yes. Okay. Lorelei, thank you. Hosteline. Actually, this is a good question. Wait, well, let me type in. I was looking up ihaile, ihaila, and I want to see the conjugations. Yeah. So this is a different verb from the one that you used, JS, if I understand this correctly. Ihosteline is about like enjoying. I was just making sure it wasn't the same verb, right? Okay, now I'll look up ihosteline. Ihostel. Yeah, to admire. Wait, this means to admire. What does ihaile mean? To adore. They're like the same. But this one is transitive. Hold on. Also transitive. Ihostwa plus ella. To fall for, to become infatuated with. Iha illa. Happy, joyful. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess in some sense I was lucky that they were basically the same. They had the same meaning. Yeah, it was just admiring quite heavy rain from the balcony. Does good for nature. Okay. Actually, and this is another good word. I'm maybe not going to look up every word I don't know just for the sake of being able, I don't know, to get to more of your Finnish sentences in the chat. Asken in Finnish. It means just now. And when you're using it, are you also, when you say tuossa äsken, is that like a combination there? Like I was just enjoying, like just now I was enjoying, like this is sort of like just, or I guess äsken is just now, whatever, but I assume they're kind of a phrase you put together. Let me just see. I don't see tuossa here on the Wiktionary page, but maybe it's... That's okay. Yeah, from the balcony. Yeah, pretty heavy rain. So I'm guessing the reipasta is the heavy. And reipas. Reipas means heavy. Is that the word? Yeah, it's like it is tough. Like when if I don't know the root word, I see this ending and I think it's whatever this ending is, the STA ending. But really, it's like this is the partitive because it's modifying saretta, which is also partitive, right? Sare. But yeah. What JS host family's kids started judo lessons, and of course they were on Wednesday evenings, and there's no good public transportation route. Oh no. Yeah. Speaking of board games or board game nights, I am organizing a with my friends. I have a group of friends where we do maybe once a year. It's not very often, but we have a WhatsApp group chat where we do murder mystery nights or kind of like LARPing, like role playing stuff. And these nights are the most fun. Like you think you're not gonna have that much fun, but then you get there, and it's just so insanely, like, what's the word? Immersive. Even if you're not even, you don't have to try. That's the crazy thing. Like you don't have to try to act. You just play along with the game, and it ends up just being hilarious. So I have proposed writing a Hobbit misdemeanor mystery party. So there's not about a murder. No Hobbit has ever murdered another Hobbit in the Shire. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about. I already have the central, like the misdemeanor, and there's a lot of like backstory I'm creating for these characters, and like I'm really excited for it. And the people in the chat, these friends have responded pretty well. So we're gonna organize it to occur sometime after Hobbit Day this year. So I need to start writing on top of all the other things I have to do in the next month. But that's actually something I think I'm really excited for. So yeah, gotta love the game nights. I respect them. You've been saying that when very dry, but then again, you're 54 or something. But you've been saying what when very dry? I don't know. I'm sorry, Lorelai, if I missed the context if you said something earlier. But you're not 54. I know you're like 30 something. You're early 30s, right? Or I think you might be my age. Late. I'm basically late 30s now, man. Where did life go? Where did it go? Yeah, data centers use a lot of water for cooling. True. But yeah, JS, you're saying, yeah, that word ihostelling has the same meaning but different nuances. And Poyu, thank you. Ihaila is admire in general. Ihostella is to admire something in the moment. Okay, so then that makes more sense maybe why you would use ihostelling in this context, because it's just about the rain that's happening right now. Where ihaila might be like, yeah, you admire someone in general in an ongoing sense, but not, yeah. And JS, tuossa in that context is more like a flavor word, just a little spiciness to throw in, you know? And yeah, and actually I think I kind of expected that, right? Asken doesn't really mean just now. It refers to the recent past. Okay. So yeah, I was just enjoying the pretty heavy rain on the balcony. It's good. It does good for nature. You've got board game day twice a week. Dude, that's awesome. It's almost like part-time. You got a part-time board game gig going on over there. What board games do you play? There was this one board game I played it's hilarious. It's hilariously overcomplicated. That's called Teotihuacan. And it's about like whatever the ancient Aztec city. And the board, it's the largest board game I've ever seen. Like, it doesn't even fit on a table, and it's basically like 9 board games in one. Like, it has all these different mini components on the board that you have to play. it's insane. But it was also hilarious. I don't know. It took like over 2 hours just to read the instructions because it's, yeah. But yeah, we needed this rain. Yeah. That's that's what you've been saying when very dry. That's you, Lorelei. You say you're 33, but you have the soul of a 54-year-old apparently. You've done this for 10 plus years. Man, that's awesome. That's such a good group. Man, it's tough. Like, I really like my friends, but you know, people just get busy. You know, they with jobs and kids. You know, as much as I would like to keep doing stuff like that, I just, yeah, it hasn't really worked out with the friend group I've had here to be able to continue meeting often. But that's life. Though I suppose, like, you know, maybe I could have met more people or something, but I don't know. You play Battlestar Galactica or something lighter. Nemesis. I haven't played any of those. According to Tyler, you're 54 and a teacher. You just have the energy, Lorelei. Okay? Just take it as a compliment, all right? That's it's good energy. All right, going back up, we should finally graduate after 22 minutes to the second sentence of the stream. But I would like to point out that I am just being a very good streamer by reading chat, responding to you guys, you know, validating you all. So that's also a priority. Learning Finnish is a priority, but also just having fun with chat is as well. And also me indulging in my own rambles. Okay, don't get me started on Tales of the Shire. I haven't played it, but let's just say I have been immersed in the reviews. Like, every other day I open up the Steam page and I just read the reviews, like the recent reviews, because I'm so interested to see what people think of the game. It's very split. There are people who really dislike it, but then there are also people who are like, there are people who are angry that other people dislike the game, so they leave a positive review where they just basically complain about how anyone who doesn't like the game has the wrong expectations, you know? It's like, okay, you know, it's fine if you like the game. And then, of course, some people are leaving like genuine positive reviews and with their, you know, whatever. But yeah, so anyways, okay. Oh, I haven't looked at the English here, by the way. Or if I have, I don't remember it. I swear. I am genuinely that mindless. Hyvää iltaa. Sää on aika hurjaa. Helteet taitavat olla ohi. Good evening. The weather is quite something. I don't know hurjaa, but I assume it refers to kind of the stormy, you know, weather. Helteet taitavat olla ohi. I feel like I should know ohi, but I don't. The only word in the sentence I know is olla, to be. And I don't know, maybe it means it has a different like meaning here. Let's take a look. The weather is pretty wild. Ah, okay. And the heat is probably over. Ah, olla ohi, to be over. Okay. The heat, helteet. I mean, it is like saying hell, you know? So that's good. But what's interesting is that heat here is plural. Like in English, you know, we just say heat. It's a collective noun, right? Collective singular. But in Finnish, it's like a plural. That's interesting. I wouldn't expect that. Like the heats. I just want to take a... Yeah, the nominative plural of hell. Hot weather. The hot weathers. And yeah, Poyu, thank you for writing this. During that time, the host family had a kid and we saw her grow from the tiny baby to now someone who goes to 4th grade. Wow. Yeah, JS, I have that feeling when I see my friends' kids. Like, I saw one of my friends yesterday, actually. And I was like, wait, how old is your oldest? Because, like, you know, I remember when his kid was, like, 2. And now his kid is, like, I think he said 10. And that would make sense. Yeah, it's been about that long. And I'm like, dang. Review bombing in both ways for the most silly reasons. Yeah, it's like, I mean, yeah, it's like, I certainly, I'm glad if a game I dislike, other people enjoy, that's fine. I'm not offended by that, you know? But like, there are people who enjoy, it's not enough to just enjoy the game. You also have to, like, you know, get upset that other people didn't enjoy it, or the reasons that they had for not enjoying it just are unfair. Like, and it's just like, well, I don't know. But yeah, the Tales of the Shire game, there was if you're interested, there was an article published by The Verge where they got tips or received, or they talked to former employees and current employees for the Weta Digital, you know, Tales of the Shire development team. And basically it does sound like, and I believe that the people that worked on the game genuinely wanted the game to be good. But the game was plagued by a lot of production issues, and especially like kind of poor creative direction and poor staffing and like resource managing. And so unfortunately, that's also why it was kind of delayed, and then also why it released with a lot of bugs, and maybe the game also, a lot of people complained that the game felt pretty shallow. And so a lot of the employees that spoke anonymously were basically saying like, yeah, like it was kind of a shit show, you know, but that's sometimes that's how it goes, you know. And part of me also, though, disagrees when people are like, it's a corporate greedy cash grab. And it's just kind of like, well, I don't know. I mean, that might be a bit overstating it, because it's not just a mobile game with you know, loot boxes and like just egregious you know, monetization practices, right? Like, it's still a game. It might be overpriced, but like, I think it, you know, it's not that bad. But anyway, sorry. I'm rambling. You guys got me rambling. What can I do? Yeah, the fandoms are like this these days. Yeah, especially with the internet, you know, and subreddits. It gets crazy. Helle means a heat wave. Okay, thank you, Polyu. So coming back here. So here it's like, it's not just that the heat is probably over, but the heat waves are probably over. Also, I want to see this word, tai. Why do I feel like I've seen this before? Like taita or taitavat. To probably do? Okay. I have seen this, and I remember practicing this actually. You know, honestly, I think I have this exact sentence in one of my spreadsheets. Actually, I do have this spreadsheet open. I want to see here in the vocabulary. No, I don't. It's not this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like gaslighting myself into thinking I have it, or it could be in an older spreadsheet. But yeah, She's probably going to finish in second place. Because I swear I've seen this sentence before. But whatever, I don't know. But yeah, they're probably going to be over Ohi. Heltate is usually when it's going on and on. Okay, thank you, JS. 25 degrees or over is hell. Yeah, some people take it personally if others don't like things they like. I mean, I can sort of, I respect it if people disagree and they write in the review like what they disagree with about what other people are saying with the game. But like, it should be about the game and not be like, the haters are just gonna hate, you know? Like, it's like these ad hominem attacks on people. That's just sort of like, you know, I mean, come on. It's also quite telling when like a game is getting like the positive review first has to begin by pointing out how unfair all the negative reviews are being, you know. But then here's the irony of these reviews is that people will leave a positive review where they basically say anyone who criticized the game has unfair expectations, except here are a few things I didn't like about the game. You know, the dumbest thing, I know I'll stop rambling about this, but the dumbest thing that bugs me is people are saying the game was never advertised that way. The game was never advertised to have voice acting or to have multiplayer or to be some grand adventure that you get to explore Middle Earth in or whatever. So stop projecting your expectations on. And it's like, no, like, it's perfectly valid to bring your expectations to the game, you know? And like, it's perfectly valid that if you know, the Middle Earth exists outside of the publisher, the game developers, right? People are bringing their expectations from the books and from the movies and other games, and then also from other games that aren't Lord of the Rings games. You know, they have expectations about what a cozy game is. And it's just kind of like, just because a developer doesn't specifically advertise a feature doesn't mean you can just be like, oh, yeah, well, I guess I have no cause for complaint. It's like, have you ever heard of constructive feedback? You know, it is possible to give constructive criticism like on a game, you know, like, come on. You know, and those people that are saying that will then also start pointing out how, like, actually, the game could have better quality of life features. And I'm like, quality of life was never promised to you, you know, so what are you doing complaining about it? Right? Use the same measuring stick on yourself that you're using to apply to others. But okay, I'm done with the Tales of the Shire ramble, okay? But actually, I don't, have I talked about this before? I want to make a grand, I've decided actually, if I win the lottery and I have millions of dollars or euros, there's only one thing I want to do. I want to purchase the video game rights to Lord of the Rings. And then I want to start a game studio where I am the chief creative director, okay, the chief creative officer, and I will recruit the best of the best artists, developers, you know, sound designers, and we are going to make the most kick-ass Shire-based video game. And I've got several ideas, but one that I think is the most hilarious and probably the most promising and the most lore accurate would be to do a Grand Theft Hobbit. It would be called something else, but it would basically be you would create your character and you would start out as a kind of like servant in the house of Lotho Sackville Baggins. And in the Scouring of the Shire, Lotho is the hobbit who essentially orchestrates the tyrannical overthrow of the Shire. Like, kind of like, whatever, like he's the one that inherits Bag End when Frodo leaves. And and then he starts buying up the property. He's the one who's selling all the pipeweed down to Saruman. And the game would be so good because you would be helping build that empire, and it would be so fun. It'd be hilarious because you would go around like, what is it, like reappropriating hobbits' personal property for the community good. So this would also be like the Grand Theft Auto part where like you can steal people's ponies. And there would be like different ponies you could go ride around on the Shire with. It'd be so much fun. You would complete missions. You'd have to go like intimidate hobbits, right? You'd have to like get ruffians, get the ruffians and go over and intimidate a group of hobbits. And maybe there could be like a skirmish you have with some of the Took hobbits who refuse to cooperate. But here's where it would be so perfect and so different from Grand Theft Auto, because in Grand Theft Auto, you just become like in Vice City, for example, you just become the big bad guy, right? You basically kill everybody, you kill your enemies, and then there's no one left to oppose you. So it's like you have your empire now. That is not how this would end. We would follow the book, and basically you would either choose to betray Lotho to Saruman, or if not, you would still be involved in the cover-up of his death, because Saruman and Grima kill Lotho when they arrive in the Shire. But shortly after this, when the travelers come back, you join their side, and you would participate in the Battle of Bywater. And you'd be a little hobbit with a bow, and this would be like the one time you'd actually be able to shoot and kill the ruffians. And then the epilogue would be helping Frodo and Sam restore the Shire to its former glory. So you'd be going around the Shire basically healing all the problems you caused, all the trees that were cut down. And man, that's the Shire game I want to play. There's so much potential there. I don't want to be some uncanny valley polygon hobbit where that just is like, I don't know. I don't want to criticize Tales of the Shire too much. People might find it charming, but like, I want to play a fun game, not a game that's just sort of like, it feels like a game that like, your parents tell you to play because it's educational and it's supposed to be good for you, but it sucks. That's how Tales of the Shire sounds to me. Okay, I'm done. That's my pitch for what I would do if I won the lottery. I have other ideas to play as, for example, Tobias Hornblower, who was the first hobbit about 350 years before the events of Lord of the Rings, who brought back the pipeweed from a hill on Bree and started cultivating it in the South Farthing. And so that actually would be, it would basically be Stardew Valley, but with pipeweed. And you'd be cultivating it and growing it, and it would certainly be a lot more cozy, right? There's no scouring involved, but you could build up your little drug empire, I guess. 27. The weather forecasting event. You beat the reigning champion. That's a good one. I like that. People working on games usually want to make it good, but for monetary and other resource reasons will not reach those goals. Exactly. Yeah, I think that's part of the problem is I'm like, it's totally fair to criticize the game and be like, this sucks, but then taking it a bit too far by like accusing the company of just being this like, a greedy corporate cash grab. It's kind of like, well, that's not really true. Like, there were a lot of skilled, talented people, passionate people that were employed working on it. And yeah. Hey Mao, welcome in. When is the next Granny stream? That is a good question. I feel like I've neglected our Granny over on our Stardew farm. But yes, I mean, I am planning at least the Granny stream for this Thursday. It's been pretty busy and hadn't been feeling well, so I've had to like take some time off. But yeah, at least this Thursday, that's the plan. We need to get back to Granny. Honestly, there's a part of me that feels deep down in my soul that my real calling in life is just to be a Stardew Valley streamer. Okay, and just to wake up every day we role play as a granny in Stardew Valley. Can people pay me to do that, please? I'll work for little pay, all right? Look, I don't have any dependents in my household. It's just me. I don't even have a dog that I have to pay for, okay? I will work for the minimum wage or less, just to, I don't know, live the Stardew dream. But yeah. Yeah, win a lottery. You said that you don't gamble. True. Maybe I need to pick it up. I need to pick up gambling and pipe weed, pipe smoking. Just like Tolkien intended. There's no gambling in the Shire though, right? I don't think there's any gambling at all in Lord of the Rings now I think about it. Or is there gambling in Mordor? Like, do we see orcs like tossing dice or something? Guys, okay. Okay, I know we're gonna get back to the finish here, but entertain this one last thought I had the other day. Literally last night, I was brushing my teeth, and I was thinking to myself, how hilarious would it have been? Because, okay, the context. At the end of The Lord of the Rings, Aragorn, spoiler alert, he becomes king. And as a result of the scouring of the Shire, Aragorn passes a proclamation that bans all people except for hobbits from entering the Shire, which I thought was quite a surprising ban, especially considering the Great East Road was being used by the dwarves. But apparently, I don't know, that was like, for some reason, Aragorn's like, yeah, no, nobody can enter the Shire except for hobbits from now on. I thought that this is hilarious. Like, what if there were non-hobbit residents in the Shire when this proclamation is made? And then all the hobbit bounders, who are kind of like, not the police force, but they're like the border patrol. They're turned into like ICE agents, and they have to go round up, all the people just trying to live their life in the Shire. And I'm imagining, like, what if there was a dwarf who had his family had gotten murdered by Smaug in the fall of Erebor, and he had moved to the Shire and made a life for himself as this very kind, hardworking and beloved blacksmith, in some small town in the Shire. And then suddenly the Hobbit ICE agents show up and they arrest him, and they're like, get him out of here. And they find that he's got tattoos or something on him, and they're like, these tattoos resemble gangs. These look like the orc tattoos from Mordor. And he's like, no, it's just the sigil of my family. It's just like a hammer because he's a blacksmith, but they're like, that's a mace that the orcs would use. Oh my gosh, we got to get him out of here. And they ship him off to whatever, what is it, a prison in Mordor. Mordor is converted into I don't know, this is getting pretty dark and maybe a bit too real, but I just thought how ridiculous, and it would be such a funny comedy sketch. This poor dwarf just totally getting taken out by the hobbits. And then I thought how even more awful but hilarious it would be if then it was discovered that the dwarf had a secret hobbit wife, and that they had hybrid, crossbreed children, kind of like when a lion and a tiger mate. They can produce offspring, but the offspring is infertile. And so they had which I would call them dwarbits or hobbarfs. and then the hobbits are pretty kind of xenophobic, and so they would freak out, and this would just be the ultimate abomination. That would be okay. I'm not gonna, it could get a lot more dark, but yeah, that would yeah, what about the Prancing Pony? Surely there's some card and dice games being played there. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't remember it being mentioned. You would think so, but I don't. I have to look into that. A few months ago, 27, you won 2,000 euros from the Keno lottery. Wow, congratulations, lucky day. Yes, Lorelei, I'm gonna get back to the Finnish. I know. Today's Selko Uti set has good topics. Okay, you know what? Let's do that. Let's change tack or switch tack, whatever the metaphor is. Yes, you are getting a Hobbit lecture, 27. But if it's not obvious, I'm deep in the Hobbit lore because I'm preparing to make this misdemeanor mystery party. Okay, this is today, right? The 5th of August. Let's do it. Let's do it. Asuntokauppa. This is sort of like house shop or the housing market, right? I believe that means housing market. Let's just take a look. Or a housing transaction. Huh. I don't know. Aluksi uutinen asuntokaupasta. First, the news about housing transactions. That's a weird... That doesn't really sound right in English to me. Like... Whatever. Well, maybe there's a better way of saying it. We would just say like the real estate market, I guess. The home buying market, I don't know. Home sales. Asuntokaupassa on alkanut alennusmyynti. How... It's sort of like in the housing transactions... in what some has begun a sale price. I don't know what alennus. I know alle means a sale, but alennus, I don't know. So yeah, asuntokauppa means the general buying and selling of homes. Okay, so I think I was right with my original transaction, the housing market, right? Or is that not specific enough? But yeah, let's actually, okay, let's see what Google says this third sentence is. The housing market has started a sale. All right. I mean, I was kind of close. I don't remember exactly how I translated it, but I kind of got that it was a sale just from this one word. And then also, myynti is like selling of some kind, right? Rakennusfirma YIT myy tätä asuntoa 160 000 euron alennuksella. Please don't be in another... Did I say it correctly? Or is it in a different case? Different endings. The housing firm YIT is selling this house for 160,000 euros on sale or off. Is that like 160,000 euros reduced, right? And alle is just a shorter version of alennus, a discount. Okay. Oh, I did say it incorrectly. And actually, as I was translating it to English, I kind of realized that it was because it's like it's selling it for this amount, and it's not 160,000 euros, but it's a 160,000 euro sale, right? So this phrase is really modifying this word. Yeah. It's not selling it at 160,000 euros. It's selling it with a 160,000 euro discount. Yeah. Thank you, Lorelai. Not euroa, euron. Asunto on Espon Westendissa. This is always so weird that I'm so used to all the place names in Finland just making absolutely no sense. Just and then suddenly they're like, oh yeah, West End. I'm like, why do we suddenly have English here? Or is that how you would say it in Swedish or something? Is it actually Swedish, but it just lines up perfectly with English? But yeah, the apartment is in Espo's West End. Asunon koko on noin 104 metria. The apartment's size is around 100 square meters. That's pretty good. That's a big apartment. My apartment is like 35 square meters. I live small. And I've always lived in really small apartments. I guess this is sort of my karma though, because as a kid, I grew up in like the suburbs of America in these like McMansions, like huge homes. And now I'm like, paying my dues. I'm paying it back. I'm in 35. Before this apartment, I was in like 29. And before that, I think, yeah, well, I when I started this YouTube channel, I was in a 17 square meter apartment. That was tough. Looking back on how much I paid for it, I'm like, I should not have done that. It was not worth that. And the guy that rented it to me was kind of an asshole. Like, he was just not a nice guy. He liked to pretend to be nice, but he was slimy. He was like slimy and sleazy and gave me trouble when I moved out. Even he was basically like demanding I pay for stuff that I'm like, that's just normal wear and tear, and he was like, no, he was like accusing me of things that I never did. I'm like, oh my God. And it was all over like a sum of like, I think 50 euros. That was what he wanted me to pay. It wasn't like even that big of a deal, but he was just such a douche about it. I'm like, dude, you should be lucky that I rented this place for so long. It was so, yeah. It's like you look back at life and just like, man, it's a shame the way people treat each other. Like, people just take advantage of each other. That sucks. But yeah. Yeah, West End just wants to be fancy. They want to sound like they are the boardwalk, Park Place of Monopoly, the West End. But yeah, in Swedish, okay, it's not Swedish, but it would be what, Västenda or something. Yeah. It's about one room larger than your place, JS. Lorelei, yours is about 45 or so. The apartment in Turku is 25. And the older apartment was 18. Wow, okay, so Lorelei, we know what it was like. What was your bathroom like, Lorelei? I remember that bathroom that I had. I don't know if I ever filmed it, but it was so small. It was like, I mean, it is literally a water closet. Like, when you hear that phrase, water closet, that was it was just a closet that would spray water down on you or underneath you. Like, the shower was on top of the toilet. So you basically had to you would get past the toilet in this little corner and then take a shower. And basically the toilet would take a shower with you, because there was no way you could, I don't know. There's no way a shower curtain would have fit even between you and the toilet. That's how insanely small that was. But I don't know. I mean, I wasn't actually like miserable living there. It was just a shame that I don't know. And when I left, the guy was such a douchebag about me moving out. Like, but yeah. Oh yeah. 27. You also have 78 square meters, but you share it with your brother. I think yeah, you had posted the floor plan of your. It's like a duplex, right, or something like that. Yeah, no room for toilet paper, nor the need. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Jace, you go to the bathroom, just get up and take a shower. It's like a bidet. It's a bidet for your whole body. It's so gross. And Laura, it was the door, shower, and sink on opposite walls, and shower next to the sink. Okay. Yeah. But anyways, okay, sorry. I know I'm getting caught up, but it's fun to talk. It's just fun to talk about stuff, all right. Uusien asuntojen kaupassa on alkanut alennusmyynti. It's like in the new houses market has begun a sale. What? Discount sales have begun in the new home market. I just got confused because this is also plural here. Why is it different? Because I thought we established asuntokauppa as like that's the word, that's the phrase. But apparently you can also you can make it plural and make it two separate words. Why is, yeah, okay, riddle me this, you Finnish legends. Why is this word a compound word and this not a compound word? It doesn't make sense to you? Yeah, new houses is. Did you just hear Golem speak? Pretty much. I wanted to emphasize the plurality and possession simultaneously. Because it is about new homes. I can sort of understand. It's not a new housing market, but it's the market for new homes. Right? Maybe that's the distinguishing idea there. So thanks for explaining that. Asuntokauppa on käynyt huonosti monta vuotta. The housing market has done poorly for many years. Käynyt. That's one of those words I always mess up. And this has so many meanings. Syy on talouden epävarmuus. The reason is the economic uncertainty, right? Uncertainty? Let's see. The housing market has been doing poorly for many years. The reason is economic uncertainty. Thank you very much. I am a Finnish legend. I know what I know what I'm doing. What can I say? Käytettyjen asuntojen hinnat ovat laskeneet. I don't know what this word means. But basically it's like something, the prices of houses have decreased. Let's see what is that first word? The prices of used homes have fallen. That's a weird phrase. And it doesn't, I don't think of homes as used versus new. It's not like buying a car, you know? I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like if you're moving into a home that no one has lived in before and it's brand new versus a home someone has already lived in that you would say is used. Yeah, I'm moving into an apartment, but it's used. Like, I don't... That's weird. But I guess it's a thing in Finnish. Yeah, a lived-in home. Okay. Käytettyjen. Uusien asuntojen hinnat eivät ole laskeneet yhtä paljon. So saying like the prices of new homes like have not decreased a lot. Yhtä. Yet. Does this mean like yet? I'm gonna translate it. The prices of new homes have not fallen as much. As much. Okay. I don't know. You guys tell me. Does this mean as much? Or is it a phrase? If you put these like yhtä paljon, maybe that means as much. Siksi ihmiset ostavat mieluummin käytetyn asunnon. I'm fighting the urge to yawn. I am so tired. It's more wise to buy used than just built. Newly built might have some issues due to lazy, hasty building phase. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's I feel like, yeah, homes don't quite age the way that, I don't know, other consumer products do, you know? But anyways, what was this? That's why people are buying I mean, I don't know what mielu means, but something about they're buying a used home. Is it sort of like they prefer? Because mieli is like your mind, and it's often used to refer to like your opinion. So I'm gonna say like, in this sort of seems like it's a comparative. So it's like it's more in the opinion of. It's like it's an increasing preference, maybe. Let's see the English. Which is why people prefer to buy used homes. I think I got it correct. Nice deduction. Thank you, JS. I mean, it's funny because like, I mean, I was kind of lucky, you know. You guys have seen me make false deductions. I feel like for every nice deduction, I make 9 false deductions. Because, yeah, you know my problem where I feel like so many words look like other words, and it's so easy to confuse them. But yeah. Although mieluummin and mieli probably don't have anything to do with each other. Okay. Of course. Of course. Well, let's look it up. Let's just see what this word, where it comes from. It is a comparative degree of mieluusti. I would rather. Well, accordingly to the etymology for mieluusti, mieli is one of the, I guess it is like the root. Right? Certainly, willingly, gladly, with pleasure. Yeah. But I mean, not that I doubted you, JS, just so you know. I wasn't testing you. I was genuinely curious just to see where the word came from. All right, let's do the next section here. Vety. I have no idea what that means, so let's go ahead and translate that. Hydrogen. Nyt uutinen vedystä. First, or I guess now the news about hydrogen. I'm trying to predict, like, what is this even about? Why would they talk about hydrogen? Is that like used as an energy source now? And it has to, I think it's going to be related to energy because I can't imagine what else it would be about. Yeah, one shouldn't blindly trust anyway. Yeah, Vetu is related to Vesi. Right? I mean, yeah, H2O. But wait, is that really? Because like I feel like language is older than chemistry, or like the word for water would be older, you know? Like wouldn't they, or did they name hydrogen after water when they discovered it? They were like, "Oh yeah, this is the whatever." I don't know the technical term, but the one of the atoms in the molecule. Hydrogen usage is a bit of waste of time and energy, too expensive and such when compared to others. Tutkijat kehittävät vedyn käyttöä. Researchers or experts. It can mean researchers, but I think it also can just mean like experts are. This is either like explaining or investigating, or yeah, something like that. Hydrogen's usage or uses or just use, right? Yeah. Researchers are developing the use of hydrogen. Oh, it's developing. Developing. Yeah, there's a number of verbs that I kind of still get confused that appear in the news quite often, where it's sort of like explaining, developing, investigating. It's kind of like, it's hard to keep those straight in my mind. Hydrogen is used to store wind energy. They reproduced Cavendish's finding that water is produced when hydrogen is burned. Okay, cool. Now I'm kind of curious. I wonder if it will say here. There's a word in Czech for it. But in Finnish, vety comes from the word for water. So yeah, the word for water obviously predated the discovery of hydrogen, right? It can also mean a meat pie. What? What is it? Why does it say meat pie here? What does that mean? It's because it's talking about the hydrogen bomb? But yeah. Oh, it is a meat pie, a kind of hand-sized meat pie popular in Lappeenranta that is filled with ham and eggs. Condiments include ketchup, mustard, pickle relish, onion, and/or mayonnaise. You Finns with your meat pies. Especially, it's like Eastern Finns, you know? The southeastern Finns and their pies. Oh, and JS, that's such a good point. I didn't even realize that in English, hydrogen also refers to water, right? Like hydro means water from ancient Greek. Yeah. Right? Like we have like a hydrant, the fire hydrant is the thing that's on the side of the street that the firefighters will use to access the water. And thank you. Kehitus ma means a developing country. Yeah, kehitus, developing. And it's from the French. I don't even know how to pronounce that in French. Hydrogène, coined by Louis Bernard Guiton de Morveau. And then, yeah, from the ancient Greek for water and I bring forth. Okay, that's cool. Thanks for explaining that, JS. Vetu and atomi are pies. Is the joke 27? Is this like a joke that this is like the like if you're eating this whatever this pie, it's like it's a hydrogen bomb because it'll like fill you with gas or something? Because like just looking at these, you know, looking at all of this, I wouldn't be surprised if the family is a bit gassy on the car ride home, you know, on the road trip home. They went to Lappeenranta and they didn't realize what they had signed up for when they bought the family pack of hydrogen pies. Yeah. And there are a million variations on the lihapirakka, the meat pies. Yeah. All right. Tämä pizzauni lämpiää vedyllä. This pizza oven is warming with, or is warming up with hydrogen. Ylen toimittaja Antti Seppälä maistaa pizzaa, joka paistettiin vetyuunissa. This pizza oven is warming up with hydrogen. Yle's reporter Antti Seppälä is tasting pizza, which has been prepared in a hydrogen oven. It is Selko Uutiset, so it is a bit repetitive sometimes. It's sort of like, yeah. I mean, I guess it would be like, this is the transcript of when they're showing the image on the screen, where they're like, this is pizza oven, blah, blah, blah. This is the journalist who's tasting the pizza that was baked in the hydrogen oven. So it looks more repetitive than maybe it sounds, you know, when they've recorded the video. Pizzauuni on esimerkki vedyn mahdollisuuksista. That's tough. Mahdollisuus means something like possibility or probability. I forget. Or does it? No, I get it confused with mahtava, which means great. But the pizza oven is, for example, is an example of the hydrogen possibility of, yeah, it is an example of a possibility for hydrogen. Vety sopii ruoan valmistukseen kuten nestekaasu. Hydrogen is suitable for food preparation as a well, Neste means like that's the name of like the big oil and gas company, right? So it's got to be I don't know, some sort of, maybe like a gas, right? Or a source of energy. A pizza oven is an example of the possibilities of hydrogen. Oh, so it's plural. I feel like this was singular though, so that's why I translated it as singular. But maybe it is plural because it adds in the exista. But I don't know. Maybe this I makes it plural. Heat is heat. Doubt the pizza tastes any different in the same temperature oven, regardless of the energy used to heat it. Yeah, although I do imagine, like, yeah, obviously if you're using like a wood-fired oven or like, then it could be, it could taste different, but if, yeah, if we're just comparing like whatever, I don't know. And then hydrogen is suitable for cooking, just like LPG. What the heck is that? Liquid propane gas? Is that what that stands for? LPG. I don't even know what that means in English. Like Google Translate's like, oh yeah, you should know. You should know this. Liquefied petroleum gas. Oh, okay. Maybe I should have known that. But I don't know. Actually, I don't think I should have known this. Like propane. Oh, but a mixture of propane and butane. Yeah, thank you guys. Oh, and JS, thank you. Mahadoli sudasta would be singular. Mahadoli sudasta. Mahadoli suksista. So yeah, it was kind of as I expected. This part of the word makes it plural. Or I say as I expected. As I expected after seeing that it was plural from the translation. But okay, let's continue. And yeah, in this case, kuten means like the liquid petroleum gas or liquefied petroleum gas. Yeah, a lot of camping and off-the-grid cottages use nestekasu as the source of energy. Yeah. Tutkijat kehittävät vedyn käyttöä. This is, yeah, we already had this. The researchers are developing I mean, I know what it means, but I was thinking, is this singular or plural? It's partitive. So maybe it's like just, you know, usage in general. Like they're developing usage, but it doesn't really make sense in English to say it that way for some reason. Like usage for hydrogen. They're yeah, let's hold on. Let's see how does Google. They're developing the use of hydrogen. Researchers are developing the use of hydrogen. Yeah, that works. I don't know why I was feeling like it should be plural though, because there's obviously like multiple use cases of hydrogen. But it works. And I think, yeah, you could, this is singular partitive, right? So the question is more just like, how am I translating it into English? not what is actually happening in Finnish. Yeah, they used to be heavy metal bottles, but now they're carbon fiber. Ah, okay. Vedystä voi tulla tärkeä energialähde, joka vähentää päästöjä. I think it's like hydrogen can become an important energy source. Is that what lähde means? I don't know. Which lessens päästöjä. I mean, that's a plural. That looks like it's plural partitive. It lessens päästö. Does that mean like I don't know. I was gonna say demand, or it lessens the environmental output, or I don't know, impact. Hydrogen can become an important energy source that reduces emissions. So well, demand was wrong. I kind of second guessed that from the beginning anyway, but I did say like environmental impact. But in this case, yeah, emissions. And yeah, the reducing emissions depends on how the electricity was made. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things that's like kind of frustrating, where companies seem to go like out of their way to appear green, or like startups will be making this product that is like, oh, this is, you know, gonna change the world. But then when you actually analyze like what they're doing, it's like, it's not this is that it's you're using so much energy to produce, to like recycle something, that it's worse than if you just sent the recycled, you know, the materials straight to the landfill. And the materials are going to end up in the landfill anyway, because what are people going to do when they're done with whatever you're selling? Like, we're repurposing, we're recycling, but it's like, okay, I mean, I guess it's good enough to recycle, but we don't need more, I don't know, like consumer products and stuff, you know what I mean? But I mean, I guess it does, there is some argument for it. I'm not going to deny, like, it can have some replacement value for other virgin material products, but I just don't like how heavy-handed the moralizing is. You know, the green, if not greenwashing, then the green posturing. But yeah, hey Yuha, welcome in. Good to see you here. How's it going? You see hydrogen as a bubble waiting to burst, like Hindenburg. Yeah, I mean, that was a big accident. But yeah, I wasn't really aware that hydrogen was becoming like an energy source. Like, of course people might be using it like in these smaller situations, but like, is it becoming a more like, whatever, I don't know, mainstream source of energy? Yeah, capitalism plus the environment. Yeah. That's also, guys, that is also one of the things that would be so fun about playing Grand Theft Hobbit. Okay? You would help Lotho capitalize the Shire and pollute, like, literally, is from the book. One of the main things Lotho does is he buys the mill that's on the water, and he tears it down and starts building a new and improved one. But the new one has like all these devices and, you know, whatever, machines that then cause pollution into the water, and the water gets polluted down to the little village of Bywater. And the hobbits aren't very happy about that. And so you'd be able to play as a hobbit helping Lotho. You know, and you would be able to go like collect the resources to build the new mill, and recruit the ruffians to help pay off the hobbits who are complaining, or intimidate them into silence. That's the Hobbit game. Vet du saadaan vedestä sähkön avulla? So it's saying like hydrogen can be gotten from water and electricity, like with the help of electricity. Is that kind of what it means? Vettä on maapallolla. Lol. When wind turbines produce excess electricity on windy days, that energy can be used to create hydrogen through electrolysis. Okay, thank you, 27. Like, and also, yeah, 27, you're like an actual engineer on this kind of stuff. Or I mean, I think you're studying this stuff right now. Is your focus of engineering on like energy? Or is this just something that you've learned as well? Yeah, and when there's high energy demand, the stored hydrogen can be converted back into electricity or used directly as fuel. Yeah, always 5 years away is an energy source. And yeah, self-driving cars always 2 years away. Just on the horizon, you know. We'll have a man on Mars, you know, in, I don't know, in 10 years or 5 years. Yeah, aren't there better battery solutions than making hydrogen? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know any of that. Though I will say when I was in high school, I did really enjoy physics. So there is a part of me that like could have pursued that line of study. But what can I say? I mean, I got sucked in by books. I loved books and storytelling and history and philosophy too much, you know? That's what I enjoyed. I was like, I'll leave the physics and engineering and whatever. I don't know. I want the questions that don't have answers, all right? That's what I want. But yeah. Yeah, Musk was going to Mars in 2025 or something like that. But yeah, okay, wait. Water is... It's basically saying like water is like an abundant resource on Earth. That's my guess. Like there's a lot of water that we can convert into hydrogen. Yeah, hydrogen is produced from water using electricity. There's a lot of water on Earth. I got it. There was just something about this. I've never seen this word before. So wait. This is what I want to look up. What is... I mean, yeah, Paolo. Doesn't that mean like a ball? So it's like the Earth ball. The globe. The globe. Maapallo. Yeah, the Earth ball. Globe. Planet Earth. How about that? There we go. See, look at my powers of deduction. All right, I deduced the mialumine. And now I've deducted Mapalala. Mapalala. I can't say that word though. I can't say it. That's one of the hardest things in Finnish is like going from a double to a single to a single to a double to a single to a double to a single. Like how? The back and forth. You've been reading on the internal workings of an 8 megawatt Siemens Gamesa wind turbine? Well, I believe you, 27. You got some... You could teach me a few things. Juha, vetu's also a street food in Lappeenranta. Yes. Yeah, we saw that earlier on Wiktionary when I looked up the word vetu. And I was like, meat pie, what the heck is this? And we were joking about it for a little bit, Juha. It was good. Pork, egg, pickle, cucumber, mustard, and spices. And a lihapiraka. Yeah, I guess it's the explosion it gives you on the inside is the joy. Maalettu for flat earthers. Thank you, Poyu. Thank you. It's important that we respect or not that we necessarily respect, that we create an inclusive environment for everybody, regardless of your, beliefs. But actually, I should point out, going back to Tolkien, the flat Earth and round Earth, like whatever. It was a point of contention for Tolkien himself, because he originally conceived of Middle Earth as flat and then turning round, which is how it's presented in the Silmarillion. But then later in life, he was trying to like maybe change that or reconcile it because, you know, but personally, I like it. I like it being a flat Earth at the beginning. I think that's actually kind of cool. And then the you know, the Valar transform it into a globe or something. But yeah. Mapalola. 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 That actually, I think that kind of helps the way you wrote it there, Lorelei, with the hyphens breaking up the word. Mapalola. Mapalola. There's a lot of water on Earth. That's good to know. Most of it is undrinkable because it's salt water. And also maybe it's polluted, but beside the point. Sähkö on usein halpaa yöllä. Electricity is often cheap at night. Silloin vetyä voidaan tehdä varastoon. Silloin. I always forget this word. Wait, okay, milloin. Does that mean when? Milloin. I'm totally blanking, but I don't know. Something maybe when hydrogen or then hydrogen can be made like, hold on a second. Varasto. I should know this. Why do I feel like it could mean reserved? But that doesn't make sense in this. Or is it like that's the time that could be reserved for making hydrogen? Or maybe it's just like that's the best time, like the freest time to make use of the cheap energy? Let's see what Google has to say. Electricity is often cheap at night, which is when hydrogen can be made and stored. That's why I've seen that word before. We've had this problem. Varasto is almost like a warehouse, right? It can be like yeah, it can mean a warehouse. But it can also just mean a stock, a supply, a storage. Yeah. But there's another word that was close to varasto. That that's sort of like an office or something like this. That I get confused. Yeah, it's like a government office or something that's like, what's that word? But very few fictive worlds encompass the whole ball. Most are just some region on the map, and then there's those that involve several planets and galaxies. That's true, yeah. I mean, in some ways, I kind of just appreciate a smaller world, you know, and in a way, it feels more medieval, right? That you genuinely do not know what is beyond the confine, you know, what's beyond the borders of the map. And typically, you know, the actual world is too big, you know, like to fill with enough stuff. Like, but yeah. Discworld, Round World is the only universe where planets are round. I read a few of the Discworld novels. Your phone died, Lorelei. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, you did disappear from the chat for a little bit. I was wondering. But glad you're back. And Varaus is a reservation. Thank you, JS. Yeah, that's... See, I'm telling you. I get words confused. but I was second guessing myself enough not to, like, because I kind of knew I was wrong about the reservation thing. But yeah, Virasto. Thank you, JS and Lorelai and Poyu. Yeah, Virasto is the name of the is it like the like a bureau or a government office or something like? Yeah, bureau, office, agency, board. From Virka, public office. What Varasta means to steal. But okay, I'm the only thing I was wondering. Wait, hold on a second. We need to look up seal loin. Because I need to know what the heck is going on with this. It just means then. Anyways. Myöhemmin vetyä voidaan polttaa ja tehdä sähköä. Oh, myöhemmin. That means like, does that mean later? Right? Later, hydrogen can be polttaa. Don't know that word. Can be something, it can be somethinged, and tehdä sähköä, and put into storage. I assume so it can be produced and put into storage. It's kind of repeating what was said up here, because I was kind of confused that in the English translation of this sentence, it was like, it is made and stored. But here, it almost seems like it's saying it can be made into storage or put into storage. Yeah, it can be made and stored. Later, the hydrogen can be burned, and used to make electricity. I got this. Okay, in my defense, I messed up here. But in my defense, I saw this word and I thought of, is it Sathya? Meaning like savings. I get this word, electricity, confused with the word for like savings. But yeah. Hey, Helion, welcome in. How are you? Finally managed to remember. We're here. Thanks for dropping by. Good to have you. I mean, we're approaching the end of the stream. We still have some time, but good to have you. Yeah, mielloin, silloin, right? When, then. And you, after watching these learning Finnish streams, you started to notice how many similar words there are in Finnish. Kind of feel bad for someone who's trying to learn the difference between 10 words. You're feeling my pain. I mean, I know like any language is going to be tough in some ways, but yeah, the it's yeah, part of the problem. It's weird because it is the blessing and curse of Finnish. The blessing that Finnish is so consistent about certain things, like, you know, like using lots of I don't know what to call these, but yeah, a lot of the same letters that like start a word, right? Like a T or a P. You know, you'll almost never see words in Finnish that start with a D or a B. Right? And then yeah. And then of course, because the words are changing due to the endings that are being added, it just adds a little chaos into the equation that, you know, gets you every time. Thasta. Okay, thank you. Okay, I think I said Sathya, which is maybe something else. Sasta is savings. But yeah. But yeah, Jay, I mean, it is true. Like there are tough words in English that are very similar, or words that are literally spelled the same but mean different things. But yeah, hydrogen can be burned in a furnace to create heat, used in an engine, or converted to electricity in a fuel cell. But yeah, the D and B words are mostly loan words. Yeah. Dialogi, banani. Okay, yeah, and Poyu, thank you. I was thinking of that. Like I said Sathya. I was thinking it meant maybe some like a social organization or something like this. But yeah, it means a foundation. Sathya. But in this case, yeah, it can be made into electricity, right? That's without it can be burnt, poltta, or made into electricity. Ehkä tulevaisuudessa myös saunaa voi lämmittää vetysähköllä. Huh. I don't know what ähkölä means, but it's saying perhaps in the future also the sauna can be warmed with hydrogen fuel. I don't know what this word means, but we're gonna guess. It's with hydrogen. Hydrogen electricity. Perhaps in the future, saunas can be also heated with hydrogen electricity. Oh, you know why I'm dumb? Because I highlighted ähkölä, but it's sähkölä. Guys, I reserve the right to be brain dead at all times, but especially on a Tuesday evening at 8:43 p.m., okay? It is my God-given right. Yeah, I missed the S. And better not heat the sauna with burning pure hydrogen. Yeah. That's just the steam, the laulu that comes off the rocks. It's just hydrogen. All right, I don't know if we'll finish this, but we'll at least start it. Vanhusten seksuaalisuus. So is this like the something about old? Is it about old people's sexuality? Yeah, sexuality of the elderly. This sounds riveting. All right, guys. Actually, I think I'm gonna wrap up for the stream for today. Awkward. My. Oh man. Lopuksi kulttuuriuutinen. Lastly, the news about culture. The culture news. I don't know, whatever. Suomessa vierailee ranskalainen teatteriryhmä. So in Finland, whatever, something, is this like, is it visiting or is it like showing? I don't know. A French theater group, right? Or maybe it could be like touring, like a French theater group is touring Finland or visiting Finland. Okay, I think I said that. A French theater group is visiting Finland. Esityksen aihe on vanhusten seksuaalisuus. Leave it to the freaking French to come to teach Finnish people about sexuality. Yeah, having lived in France and Finland, I think this is a hilarious, what is it? I don't want to say a clash of cultures, but there's definitely an opportunity for cultural exchange. And I'm just imagining all these like you know, very like stone-faced Finnish people sitting in a theater, just watching the most uncomfortable performance. Being like, this is normal. Don't make eye contact with anyone. You know, certainly do not look to any family members that are with you. I don't know. Okay, this section is nice and wholesome. Okay, good. I thought we were about to have to demonetize the channel. I didn't know. They have adult times at nursery homes. Oh gosh, hell Leon, you're giving me some like spoken Finnish style of the possessive suffix yours to just an S ending. So vetysi ahkela. Your hydrogen's ahka. What? Yeah. No wonder I'm confused. But yeah, we don't know what ahka is. But yeah. One girl in your secondary school physics class saying the words "Sahilaya yohola" when the teacher asked how electrolysis works. I have no... I don't know. I don't get the joke because I don't understand Finnish well enough. Don't Google this. Famous last words, Helion. But Oulu especially has a history of weird theatrical productions. I've been to Oulu, and they're weird up there. I don't know, with all their bicycles. No, they're cool. Yeah, the uncomfortability of the audience is due to their own preconceptions. All right. But anyways, okay, hold on. Let's continue. We got a little more time. Esityksen aihe on vanhusten seksuaalisuus. I don't know what this is. I should know. Esittyä. But something about the topic is about the sexuality of the elderly. The topic of the presentation, or exhibition, maybe, or like, I mean, this the topic of the performance, right? The theatrical group. Typically, in English, you would just say it's a performance, not a presentation. Like this is not like a CEO giving a presentation. Like they're doing some theatrics, okay? It's a performance. Näyttelijät ovat tavallisia ranskalaisia vanhuksia. Is it like the performers? I always forget this word, but I feel like it means usual. Or like the performers are like normal French elderly people. He puhuvat rakkauden kokemuksesta ja seksuaalisesta halusta. They talk about love. They talk about love's kokemus. Meeting? Does this have something to do with the meeting? Ja, and halusta. Halusta. It's like, is this a desire for sex or something like this? Or not sex, but desire for sexuality? Sexual desire? I'm so lost in this paragraph. The actors are ordinary French elderly people. They talk about the experience of love and sexual desire. I was pretty close. The experience. I don't think I got that. Yeah, that's the word I know I've seen this word before, but yeah, I forgot it. Yeah, esitelma is a presentation. Ahula ja yohola means electricity and wires. That explain electrolysis or whatever. It's electricity and wires. All right, that's it. I don't need to explain more. It's just magic. Performance works better in this case, but a presentation would translate to esitus as well, so it's about the context. Yeah. One sports reporter commented, technological advancements in sports. Bitteja säteitä. What? What is that? Monet vanhukset ovat kokeneet, että lapset eivät hyväksy vanhuksien uusia suhteita. Many elderly are experienced? Kokeneet. Or they have experienced. Many elderly have experienced that children eivät hyväksy, are not accepting elderly people's new suhteita. Conditions? Many elderly people have experienced that children do not accept their new relationships. Okay, new relation. But where did Von Huxien go? Children. Where did children? Yeah, wait, Lopset. Do not accept their new relationships with elderly? Is that kind of what it means? I don't know. You guys tell me in chat. I don't think Google did a very good job with this one. Oh, Von Huxien becomes there. Okay, you know what? I was confused because, and there's got to be some word for this where you get like the pronoun confused, because there could mean either the children or the elderly people, right? It's not clear which, because originally I was thinking, wait, children do not accept their new relationships. My first thought was that, are elderly people criticizing children for not sticking to their you know, like their early, you know, whatever their early boyfriends and girlfriends that they have in their teens and 20s, you know? That was my first thought, because that's like a trend. Older people got married younger and are like, you know, the younger generations are too picky. They need to just accept each other. But it's actually referring back to the elderly people, that the children do not accept their elders' new relationships. Yeah. Yeah, the sentence could be more clear. A high school Finnish teacher would mark that sentence down. Thank you, Helion. So I'm confused, but for valid reason. Oh, well, if written like it is in English. Okay, never mind. It's clear in Finnish, just not so much in English. Esityksessä on paljon huumoria. Myös surua on kohdattu. In the performance, there's a lot of humor. Also, something has something. I don't know. Surua on kohdattu. There's a lot of humor in the show. There's also sadness. That makes sense. Surullinen is sad, like to be sad, or a sad person. So yeah, surua. Myös surua on kohdattu. What was it again? There is also sadness. Kaksi iäkästä ryhmän näyttelijää on ehtinyt kuolla. Oh, something about death. Two something. Is it like 2 of the group members, performers, have died? Or is it like, is it part of the performance that they die, or did they actually die? Heidät pidetään silti mukana tarinassa. Something about like is it that they like a nice story? 2 of the older actors in the group have passed away. Okay, so it means that, yeah, they've actually died in real life. It's not just the performance. They are still included in the story. Ah, they are still included mukana tarinassa in the story. The urn with the ashes of the dead actor is on stage with them, per the wishes of the actor. Ah, okay. Wow. That's pretty powerful, actually. I mean, if I was at a performance and I saw that, I feel like I'd be moved by that. Suomessa vierailee ranskalainen teatteriryhmä, jonka aiheena on vanhusten seksuaalisuus. In Finland, a French theater group is visiting, which has as a topic old people's sexuality. Ryhmä esiintyy Tampereen teatterikesäfestivaalilla. The group is performing, maybe, right? At the Tampere Theater Summer Festival. The group performs at the Tampere Theater Summer Festival. Yeah. Good, and we finished just in time. We're not going to read any of the weather. We're not going to do any of the bonus questions, all right? We're done. We are done. Okay? Oh, we made it. I would like to say this was a very well-balanced Tyler Walton Learn Finnish With Me episode. Okay? We got work done. I translated some of your sentences from chat. And also, I rambled about Tolkien-related topics. But not too extensively, I'll have you note. And, yeah. Fun. So, thank you guys. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a good student, Yuha. Thanks for saying that. Yeah, you saw someone walking a dog in the rain. Me too, actually. I mean, I was coming home from the store, and just it started pouring rain on me. And someone else was out there with their dog. That's fine. Yes, Yuha, I like to see the living Thai emote in chat. I appreciate that. So yeah, guys, thank you for following and for supporting me. And if you can support me, I'd appreciate it, either on Patreon or here on YouTube, especially if you like the live chat features. Though Patreon is like more bang for your buck if you just want to support me. But yeah, less than 2 hours of Tolkien ranting. Okay, Poyu, let's not get ahead. All right, I've never ranted for that long. Every Tolkien rant I have ever done has been under a 2-hour limit. Easily. Probably under a 1-hour limit. With some breaks, maybe over an hour. What, you also watch someone first walking and then running with the dog in the rain? But yeah. Oh. Going back to Night City in Cyberpunk. That's good, JS. Glad you're enjoying that. I haven't played Cyberpunk, though. I've heard good things now. Obviously, when it launched, there were some issues, but I've heard it's been patched and it actually runs really well now. Maybe I'll try it one day. But add it to the long list of games I need to play. And on that note, if you're interested, we got the Stardew Valley Granny Challenge. It's still going. Though it's been a little while since I last played. I wasn't feeling good last week, so I canceled, but we are going to try to pick it up this week. Yeah, I think we are approaching the end, we are in the last week of spring. I actually think like summer starts maybe the day of, or maybe I think we stopped on Sunday. So we have one more day and then we'll start summer. Jas, her birthday might be a pain in the butt, but we do have a way of getting her a guaranteed gift. So no worries there. We can get one of the strange dolls by brute forcing it. Or we could get the ancient doll by brute forcing a different way, but it's, I think, a lot harder and might take a lot longer. So if you're interested in learning that, or if you want to follow along on the granny lore, we have fun playing Stardew is all I'm trying to say. All right, we are connecting all the characters and creatures of the Stardew Valley universe into a unified cosmic granny adventure. Okay, so that's and the adventure is love and giving loved gifts to your to the random strangers who happen to inhabit your neighborhood. the local villagers. But yeah, okay, all right guys, we'll wrap it up. But thank you all for joining the stream, and yeah, I really hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.